It's just now occurring to me that I should probably look presentable. Hello, my name is Lily. I am a freshman at FSU, Florida State University. Anyway, I've gotten to that point in my life where I'm in college, I have no friends, and there's nothing to do on the weekends. And I thought, you know what? My life is already pretty much at a standstill. Why not just like ruin it by creating a YouTube channel? Because this is probably gonna be the biggest mistake of my life and it'll never come off the internet. So, you may notice faint tinkly music in the background, but it's not like that good quality like stuff that you put in later, because I don't know how to do that. So I just put on Andrew Bird's Pulaski at Night, or I Want to See Pulaski at Night. I hope I don't get sued for that. It's a great album. Great guy. So I was wondering, like, what am I gonna do for this? I mean, I got dressed up, sort of. I got out of my pajamas. I actually put on mascara, if you can see that. I'm never gonna do that again. You're never gonna see another video with me wearing mascara. It's not gonna happen. Yeah, so I didn't know what I was gonna do, and then I was like, wait a minute, what do I do all the time? What is it that I've been doing all my life? Oh, you guys don't know. It's not obvious to you. It's art. This is some of my stuff. Yeah. Yeah, that's some of my art. Wow, I have really shaky hands. And I thought, why not do like an art tutorial or something? I actually used my pad. I actually wrote down everything that I was gonna say in this video. Anyway, let's get started on that art drawing. So, one of my favorite things to draw, because I am that bitch, and also it was like the first thing that, like, I mean, one of my friends kind of taught me how to do it the proper way, because I could never draw eyes, and then she taught me like just the basics of it, and then I was like, and then like I taught myself how to do the shading and everything, and then I actually took, you know, AP art one of the times, like, oh, maybe I should join an art class. And then they were like, oh, like, here's like the proper way to do eyeballs. And I was like, so we're gonna draw an eye today. So first thing you're going to start with, you're going to need a pencil of some sort. I'm actually, sorry, gonna use like an art pencil. Because I went out and I bought it. They're actually not expensive. I've got some shitty erasers. I've got these blendy things. But if you don't have these, that's okay. You can buy them if you really want to. Any sort of like number 2 pencil, probably any pencil would work, but I know that number 2 you can smudge it with your finger, kind of. So yeah, if you don't have a blendy stick, you can always smudge it with these blendy sticks. Alright, so first things first. I don't have another camera angle for this, so I'm just gonna have to show you as I go. Alright, so first thing, you're gonna want to start with the shape of the eye. So you're gonna start by drawing a curve. There's something, whatever. Just include it in there. Alright, so just a very gentle curve. I'm gonna make my eye kind of big because, nope, it's really not gonna be that big. So, gentle curve. Cute. After that, there are different ways to do this. Like, this is just the way that I do it. Yeah. So, after that, you're gonna want, I don't ever do the full bottom curve. I just usually start from like the outside, where I want the outside of the eye, and just like do it just a little inward, so like I know where the eye's going. Making a little curve inward, like so. See that? At that point, actually, see, I'm noticing that this is supposed to be my end, and it should be higher than your other end, because if you'll notice on the eye, this corner is higher than this corner. So I'm gonna lower that just a little. And yeah. Next thing we're gonna start with is the... maybe we shouldn't. Sure, why not? We're gonna go ahead and do the iris, because that's how I do it. All right, so basically, you're gonna find the most rounded part of your top curve, because if you'll notice, just a little anatomy for you, on eyes, the iris is a little more like bulged than the rest of the eye. So naturally, like, wherever it is, because it's gonna be more curved there. So on my piece, that is like right there. Okay, so you're just gonna go ahead and just like fudge a little circle. It's not gonna be fully in the center of the eye though, because that doesn't happen unless you're like this, which you could actually do. You could do like a scared person, or like, you know, stylized. I'm just trying to like give you a basic eye right now, like semi-realistic eyeball. So, and again, I didn't fully form the bottom. I do that a lot. I don't fully form things until like I'm ready to form them, you know? Because it just makes it easier to redo them. From there, we are going to be creating the upper crease. Forming like a crease, like right there, kind of following the line, the curve, the lid, eye lid, but also a little more like angular in a way. So here's my crease right now. It's really sketchy right now. Like you don't have to worry about making it nice or anything. A lot of the time, I mean, unless you want to, but like a lot of the time with art, like a lot of art is sketchy. That's just what happens. It's a look. It is definitely a stylized look. So like if you don't want to blend it at the end, like that is up to you. You've got that crease done. We're now going to move on to an eyebrow. All right, so you're gonna start. Sorry, I'm sorry if that's like weird. It's not like there's a picture of an eye on the wall. Did I already explain this? There's a picture of an eye on a wall. It's the one that I drew in class, and I'm referencing it. We're gonna start a little further forward on the inside of the eye, so we're gonna start it like right there, and make kind of like a that kind of shape. So like a little curved, but like with a little. Yeah, that looks kind of like an eyebrow. So see, got something like that going. Pretty cool. We're gonna deal with that eyebrow later. We'll give it more hairs and whatnot so that it looks a little more realistic. We're gonna finish the actual eye now. So if we're coming back in, we're gonna start actually finishing that lower lid. It's gonna have a little bit of like a corner to it, as you can see, because of that little, is that a tear duct? I don't know. And then in that little tear duct, this is going horribly. I should not be teaching people how to draw. So it's just gonna be like a little bulb. See? Little bulb. Let's move to some highlights. So if you can see, with eyes, you have a little shine right there in your eyeball from the lighting. Ooh. So we're gonna just create a little like, almost like a rectangle. Oh my god. Rectangle. We're gonna create a little rectangle almost thing like that. pupils obviously are round, so you're basically just adding another little cute little circle inside of your iris circle. Ta-da! Let's go through some of these lines again and make them darker because I think we're gonna start shading soon. Here's something you should know though. Don't make the bottom crease that dark because if you'll notice with most bottom creases, there's that little gap there that's kind of shiny, your waterline. So don't make that completely dark first, but make everything else dark. All right, fun little fact about irises because we're gonna start shading there. Wherever the light hits is actually where the darkest area is. So that's a terrible example. It's because of the way that the iris is shaped. It's shaped like a bowl. So if the sun is coming in from this side and it's hitting the bowl, it's gonna with the little lens on top, it's gonna be reflecting right here, but it's gonna be lighting up this side of the bowl, not this side, because this side is curved away from it. So wherever your light is, that's gonna be your darkest part of your iris, and then on the other side, that's gonna be your lightest part. When you start with the iris, I like to start with little lines because if you'll notice, I mean, obviously you don't have perfect lines in your eyes, but that is kind of the basic thing. They have little flares outward. You can do whatever you want with that. You can make them swirly. You can make like little dots. Some people have like little like freckles in their iris. So you're gonna have little rays going outward. So I'm starting with that. That's what I've got so far. And then we're just gonna start shading right around the top part of the iris, right around the lid, because that's where it's gonna be darkest. Also, like I said before, by the little, where the little light reflection is. So if you'll see, sorry. That's what we got so far. Now I'm just gonna start shading right under the eyelid. Just a little ways underneath your eyelid, you're just going to shade following the shape of it. I mean like that. You see how it's kind of shaded under there? Like there's a little gap. Now, we are going to come in and I'm actually going to erase the under part of my eye because I was dumb and I decided to draw that. I don't know why. Go back through and I'm going to like draw even further under it, more of the dark part. But very, very lightly so that I can have another line above it. Like that. See, I don't know if you can see that. And then you can go back through on the darker bottom line and fill it in a little bit more if you want. And I'm also gonna shade just like around just the little creases. You can basically figure out what you're trying to do as you go on, like under the eye. It's all following this basic kind of angle if you're drawing from the same way that I am. Now I'm gonna go through and I'm going to darken this crease right here. And then we're gonna start shading that too. And I'm going to add some creases underneath the eye. Wow, this guy has some deep baggage. So see, he's just got very faint lines underneath his eyes. Yeah. And I'm gonna start shading the upper lid. So basically, rule of thumb you're gonna go by, the middle part is gonna be lighter than the edges. Getting towards the crease, it's gonna be darker, mainly darker on top right here, and then it lightens up here because we're going by light coming downward. Alright, so we've got something like that going. It's a little rough, it's a little sketchy, but we're gonna come back in with the stick later. Now, if you have a nose, which most of you do, you'll see that right here it's pretty dark, and even though I'm not gonna draw a nose today because I hate drawing noses, I hate them so much, we're gonna start drawing the little shadow right there, okay? So it's gonna be leaning in towards your eye. It's kind of like a little, that kind of thing. like that. So let's get to underneath the eye. So underneath the eye, I think I tend to make it not as dark just because like the cheek ends up happening there, but like you can make it however dark you want. If you're wondering like, how do you know all these things about eyes, Lily? Whoa, I spent I spend a lot of time staring at myself in the mirror. There was a time in my life where like I really wanted to learn how to draw like certain features and stuff, and like I can't just like look at someone and be like, I want to draw your eyes, like I'm gonna stare at you. But like I would just stare at myself in the mirror. I would take flashlights, I would shine it around, and I'd be like, life imitates art, art imitates life. If you just look around you, you observe the little details, the rules. Everything in nature has a rule, and I think that's wild and awesome. And like, I don't know, I think there's something so beautiful about lighting on eyes. So like I would just stare at my own eyes in the mirror. I also took a lot of pictures of eyes. So yeah, just like observe the world around you. It's a good time. You'll find out a lot of things, like even if you don't have anyone to share it with because you're, you know, lonely and in college and just overall having a terrible time in your life, you can just have these little revelations with yourself and just be like, this is great. I love it. I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, that does not look how I wanted it to look. So we have that going for us there. Yeah, that doesn't look how I wanted it to look. I'll fix it later. The music stopped. I changed it. Now we are listening to Andrew Bird Echolocations Canyon. That's what it's, yes, that's what it's called. So still going with our drawing. We're gonna add some hairs to our eyebrow. You're gonna start going upward with the hairs, and then as they get more over here, they're gonna gradually start going more the shape of the eyebrow, like the way that the eyebrow goes. They don't have to be exactly perfect. Mine are never. Real and drawing, never. They're also most likely gonna be darker around the front, this area, and be a little lighter towards the end. I like to add a few like stray hairs because no eyebrow's perfect. I mean, actually, no, there are some people, I don't know how they do it, but see, it's a little messy. I might go through and fix that later because it's still a little sketchy and messy, but like, it's an eyebrow. I'm gonna go back and add a little more shading over at this corner of the eye because you'll notice like you get to a point where your brow bone kind of stops and then it's like, well, no, it doesn't stop. It joins this little crease right here. You're gonna shade going that way because there's a little bit of a shadow. Does that look okay? Am I doing this right? So we've got our little eye going here. And this is the fun part. We're gonna take our trusty I need a better blending stick. I don't know what these are actually called. I'll look it up. And maybe if I do another art video, this one's huge. Okay, actually we are gonna use this one. Yeah, but it's rolled up paper. You could probably just use like tissues. Your finger, I know your finger works, but the thing about your finger is your finger has oils on it, so eventually it'll be hard to erase it or blend it more, and blending stick. Very cheap. Art stores. So yeah, you're just gonna start going through. I would start with the creases and just blend to your little heart's content. Oh, this is a fun little fact. Okay, so you remember where, you can't really see it now, but you remember where I said the waterline was? You can actually blend right above that so that it makes the white of your eye a little darker than that area, so it looks like there's light. Alright, that was not exactly the look I was going for, but it happened. Yeah, so you're just like, you're blending everywhere basically. I'm even gonna blend on the eyebrow because, I mean, everything else is blendy and just does not have that much like form, shape to it that like I might as well. Here's my blended piece. It's not the most beautiful blending job in the world. In fact, hold on, I'm gonna fix that. Still not the most beautiful blending job in the world, but especially right there, pretty bad. But it's okay. So once you've finished blending, which I'm gonna fix that darn little. Once we finish blending, we're gonna do everyone's favorite part that they always accidentally kind of like do at the beginning, which I have found will really hurt you if you're blending, which is eyelashes. Actually, for this, I should use a mechanical pencil because this is dull as heck. Hello, everyone. This is my roommate.
Oh, God.
She just pulled a stick out of her hand. Long story. Alright, I'm gonna continue doing this. Just ignore me. Pretend I'm not here. I'm a little embarrassed, but my life is over anyway. Alright, so like I was saying, mechanical pencil because it's small. You're gonna go in and do some eyelashes. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be okay. Eyelashes go not all just up and not all just one way, obviously. They all have a sort of curve to them. Most of them, if you use an eyelash curler. Some of them are gonna be going down even, if that makes any sense. They're gonna be going all different ways. Eyelashes don't, they don't care. So I usually start at this point and I just work my way this way. I'll start with just the basic eyelashes and then I'll add in some more complex ones later. Oh God! Oh God, you can't see this at all. We're going back to this one. Alright, so here are my very basic eyelash. Oh, I didn't do the bottom. We'll do the bottom one later. My very basic eyelashes. Now, nobody has that few I mean, I'm sure somebody has that few eyelash thing. Probably. But, not this fella. So we're gonna give him some more. Remember how I said that some eyelashes go down? I did not do that very well. It didn't happen. They're all going up, but it happens. Now we're gonna do the lower eyelashes. So those aren't gonna go on your little waterline that you drew. They're gonna go below that, and they're gonna be fewer and maybe a little lighter and shorter. All right, cool. So this is not the best eyeball ever drawn in the world, but it is an eye, and it is a drawing, and you did do it. I did this one, but you did yours if you decided to participate. Thank you very much for joining me today on this Saturday at... Anna, what time is it?
I don't know, my phone's dead.
At... Apparently... 4:12. 4:12 in the afternoon. I've been inside all day. I've done nothing. But now I've done this, thanks to you. There was a quote there, but thank you. Subscribe? Do that. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed.